Greetings, everyone. Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell, and welcome to the latest episode in the Project Dramond series. Today, we're going to be talking about the races of Project Dramond. More importantly, we're going to be talking about some of the more unique races that we've got in the game. Now, this is going to be a very brief introductory video because the full details, for those of you who are interested, are in the Patreon post below, where you can really sink your teeth in to the overview of the races. And then we've got a post coming up next week which dives into the brownies and the dwarves in particular and the various types of dwarves. But before I get into that, I'd like to take a moment here and say, if you're new here and you're not sure what this is, what's Project Dramond, what's going on here, Project Dramond is a brand new high fantasy world that we have created, myself, my brother, and my wife, and we're working on it here on YouTube and over at Patreon. And it is a high fantasy environment, and we're working on a rule set and campaign module for those of you who want to role play in the world. And we're also working on a series of novels, very much like the Chronicles of Dragonlance, that kind of style. And we're also working on a single player point and click adventure game. All of the links, like I said, are below, going straight to the Patreon page. You can find out more information about it there. Also, there are more videos here on YouTube talking about the project, so feel free to dive in. But this episode is a brief overview on races. So, when we started looking at the types of races we wanted to have in our world, we knew that we wanted to have some of the traditional fantasy races. Um, so you're going to see things like elves, dwarves, and humans. Also half elves. Those are four of the more common races that we have. But we do not have orcs or half orcs. Those got thrown out very early on because I didn't want to deal with any of those. I don't like the idea of orcs and half orcs as player characters. That's just me. It's my world. I get to do what I want. So there's no orcs and half orcs. We also have brownies, which are a new playable race. And we have halflings, but they're a lot different than the halflings that you would see in other traditional fantasy games. We were talking about this in the reveal video on March 1st the other night. One of the things that I really dislike about the way halflings are portrayed in most of the typical tabletop games that you play is that they're portrayed as these sneaky little cut purse thieves, especially if you look at like the Kender from Dragonlance, which are a version of halflings, obviously. And then if you specifically look at the halflings in Forgotten Realms, they're also a traditionally a thief-based character. Um, the halflings in our world are a lot different in the sense that the primary source of inspiration, actually for both the halflings and the brownies, the major source of inspiration came from the world of the movie Willow. And if you've seen the movie Willow or if you've read the trilogy of books that was set in that same world, you'll kind of understand at least where the foundation layer of our halflings and brownies are coming from. Now, obviously, this is our own unique take on things, so we have quite a bit of original spin on those. But I always like to take people back and show them my primary sources of inspiration for things because I think that's a great way to give people insight into the writing process of how you are always looking for inspiration from different sources. It might be a painting, it might be a book you've read, it might be a movie you've seen, a series you've watched, a short story you've read. It might be something as simple as a screenshot of a video game, or a piece of concept art that you've seen from someone on ArtStation or somewhere else in the world. But we're always drawing inspiration from different sources. And one of the things we wanted to do with this project was take people back to the very roots of everything and show people how we go from the primary inspiration source and then create our own take on things and implement it into our world in the way that we're doing things. So if you want more information about this, you're going to want to tune in, subscribe to the Patreon, check out the post below, which talks about the kind of basic overview for the races. There's a little bit of world history in this post, talking about where did the humans come from? Why are they here in the realm now? What happened to bring them here? The different types of elves that we have. We've got the wood elves, high elves, ice elves, sea elves, different types of elves, different types of dwarves. And again, while we are going back to the roots of fantasy for some of the things, our take on things is quite a bit different, and we wanted to give everybody a little bit of insight into that today. Again, more information about everything can be found in the links below. You can also check the playlist here on YouTube related to the Project Dramond series. The project just was announced publicly on March 1st, so last night. We've got the overview video where we did a live stream with myself, my wife, and my brother. There's the first brainstorming video, which dives into some of our background and coming up with some of the history of the world and story of the races and so on and so forth, and what we're looking to put into the book. And then there's also the first map video as well. And there's more videos coming in the pipeline later this week. We've got more posts coming in the pipeline later this week, and you can expect to see a lot more videos like this cropping up on YouTube throughout the weeks and months ahead as we continue on with Project Dramond. So don't forget, check out the posts on races below, and don't forget to stay tuned because next week, as a follow-up to this particular video, there's going to be a post on the dwarves and brownies. And then we're going to be continuing to doing more videos and more posts about the different races in the world as we continue to flesh those out and get them into the game world. Thanks, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Stay safe, stay healthy, all the good stuff. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the bell icon so you get updates for more content in the future, and we'll see you either here in a future video or over on Patreon.